Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhondial. As always, it is good to see you. When does publicity turn perverse? It's very hard to give an exact answer, but this instance fits the bill. Earlier today, Virat Kohli posted this video on his Instagram page. You'll see it in just a bit. It was like a hotel room walkthrough. The room was Virat's, the stuff inside the room was Virat's, but the video, that wasn't shot by Virat Kohli. It was shot by a hotel employee who managed to enter the batsman hotel room. He claimed he was a fan. It was a massive breach of Virat's privacy. Needless to say, he is livid. He says he feels paranoid about his privacy after this episode. And can you really blame him? A crazed fan managed to sneak into his room, shoot a 30-second video and post it on social media. His training kits, his dietary supplements, even his grooming accessories were beamed all over social media. The hotel, of course, has now apologized for the incident, even sacked the employee/fan in question. But what about the broader problem? Yes, the likes of Virat Kohli are public figures. Yes, they live their lives in public view. But does that deny them the right to privacy, the right to keep at least some part of their life to themselves? And for the record, it's not just Virat. Celebrities all over the world face the same problem. Sometimes it's an obsessed fan, sometimes it's a paparazzo who doesn't understand boundaries. Both groups need an urgent lesson in privacy because at the end of the day, celebrities are also people. They can choose when to engage with the public. They can also choose when to hide their life from the public. Virat himself summed it up best in his post. He said, "Do not treat people as a commodity for entertainment." Has social media essentially made us indecent? That is the question on Urban Debate this evening. Before that, though, the big headlines, we are tracking this up. 9 people arrested in the Morbi Bridge tragedy, amongst them 2 Oreva company managers, the ticket window clerk and security guards. But the FIR is quiet on the big fish and local authorities. Speaking at an election rally in Gujarat, the Prime Minister breaks down, calls the Morbi Bridge tragedy painful. He will be visiting the spot tomorrow. The death toll has now crossed 130. The Supreme Court extends its stay on the much-abused sedition law till the second week of January. This after the centre hints at a revision of the controversial law in the winter session. The Supreme Court orders the removal of the 2-finger test for rape survivors from medical textbooks. Says it's a violation of a woman's dignity and privacy. The Supreme Court also warning anyone conducting it, saying they will be held guilty of misconduct. And of course, our top story, a leaked video of Virat Kohli's hotel room in Australia goes viral. He says he's not okay with this breach of privacy. The hotel apologizes and sacks the employee who made that video. Everyone has a safe space. Somewhere you can kick up your feet and be yourself. Cricketer Virat Kohli thought so too. For him, that safe place was his hotel room in Australia. By now, all of us know what happened next. An employee/so-called fan at the hotel snuck into Virat's room. He filmed everything he saw there. Virat's clothes, his accessories, even his dietary supplements. Once he realized this, Virat shared the incident on social media. He did not mince his words. Listen to this, he said. "I'm not okay with this kind of fanaticism and absolute invasion of privacy. Please respect people's privacy and not treat them as commodities for entertainment." Virat's wife and Bollywood actor Anushka Sharma also criticized this breach of privacy. She rounded up her response with an important question. If this is happening in your bedroom, then where is the line? On social media, a lot of support is pouring in for Virat Kohli. Fellow cricketers like David Warner have expressed their shock. All that pressure and outrage had the intended effect. Not only did the hotel apologize, they fired the employee who snuck into Virat's room. Job done, right? Well, not really. Virat Kohli isn't the first celebrity to face this problem. Obsessed fans and paparazzi are a constant challenge for celebrities. I'm sure we have seen all those airport pictures and gym looks at some point on social media. But like his wife, Anushka Sharma is asking, where do you really draw the line? Now, earlier this month, and I want you to look at this video as well, Bollywood actor Kareena Kapoor had a similar experience. We'll just play that video out for you. She was mobbed by some pretty persistent fans at the Mumbai airport. You could see that she was uncomfortable, that she didn't want to take that selfie, that she tried to get out of this situation with a cool head. But did these fans care? Absolutely not. So coming back to my question, where do we draw the line? A simple rule of thumb is consent. In this case, Virat did not consent to this video. It was shot and published without his permission. So whether it is a crazed fan or an overly enthusiastic paparazzo, always remember consent, because celebrities are public figures. They are not public commodities. Most of the countries on the same page when it comes to Virat's leaked video, and that includes Olympic sensation Neeraj Chopra as well. He has criticized this violation of Virat's privacy and called for clear lines when it comes to fan interactions. Listen in.
जो भी हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं इंडिविजुअल तो है ही, मतलब सबके अपने एक अलग लाइफ तो है. अच्छी बात है, हाँ बिल्कुल. अगर विराट कोहली वहाँ पे हैं और वो उनको मिल रहे हैं तो उनसे फोटो की पूछ सकते हैं, वो अच्छे से वहाँ पे मिल सकते हैं. लेकिन हाँ, थोड़ा सा इस चीज़ का ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि सभी एक इंडिविजुअल, एक नॉर्मल इंसान भी है, चाहे कुछ भी है. वो इतनी मेहनत करके वो वहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं, अगर फिर भी ऐसी चीज़ें फेस करनी पड़ रही हैं तो थोड़ा सा तो फिर ऐसा लगता है कि यार क्या चल रहा है सब कुछ. क्योंकि हाँ, बस वो थोड़ा सा वो चीज़ कंट्रोल करनी चाहिए लोगों को.
At the top of this, I'm straight away going to Rohit Roy, who's an actor who is joining us on the broadcast. Rohit Roy, thank you very much for your time here. In my mind, there were multiple lines that were crossed with this video. But for you, what has been the most offensive?
Well, the most offensive is that if I was Virat, I'd feel absolutely naked right now. Having a video like that of his personal effects being shown to the world. It's almost like somebody's walked into my bedroom and has taken pictures of my clothes, my personal effects, my underwear, the vitamins and the medication that I use. I mean, this is a complete travesty of one's privacy. And, I've always actually been for the press and the media because they also make a living. But this has got nothing to do with press or media. This is one gentleman deciding to go and record stuff in Virat's room, which is very, very scary. I mean, I'm glad that the hotel management has taken the right step by relieving that gentleman of his duties.
Rohit, as an actor yourself, I want to ask you, is it the paparazzi that is crossing the line constantly, or is it the fans? Because in recent times, I have seen, look, Virat and Anushka have been very private about their private life. They have not revealed their child's face to the media. And the media, that is the paparazzi, has been respectful of that request that has been made. I want to ask you, given recent instances, is it the paparazzi that crosses the line more often than not, or is it actually the fans, in your experience?
Quite honestly, it's it's a personal thing. It's not about paparazzi in general. In India, I must say that we are not like what happened in UK, what happens in UK, what happens in a lot of other countries. Our paparazzi is not normally like that. They're very respectful. The stars are very, very friendly with the paps. In fact, the paps have. I mean, of course, once in a while they end up irritating a star here or a star there. But that's more a personal thing. But I have not ever come across somebody from the press who's, trying to really get into my face. I think that happens mostly in the political arena, not with actors and athletes. The press has always been. And of course, I understand the excitement of even the press people, other than doing a job. They will get excited to spot a Virat Kohli on the road or a Rohit Sharma or anybody, But and as far as the fans are concerned, I think they get a little more excited because they're not used to seeing a Kareena Kapoor every day. But what happened with Kareena at the airport, which the clip you just showed, that should never happen. Somebody going and trying and hugging a celebrity, and that too a female, is absolutely, it's as bad as somebody recording Virat's room.
My last question to you before. Okay, I believe we've lost our network to Rohit Roy. We'll try and see if we can patch up with him because I want to ask him this question. All right, Rohit, I believe, we just lost our connection for a bit. Before I let you go, I want to ask you, have you tried to understand where this is coming from, where this video is coming from? Is it coming from a place where you see a star, whether it's a cricketer or whether it's a film star, whether it's anyone, who's a big brand
I'm
that
really
you're
sorry,
seeing,
but
you're seeing these stars every day. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, I do understand that the audio is not very great. So we'll leave it there for the moment, Rohit. Thank you very much for joining us. Just giving us a bit of your perspective. I wish we could go on and ask you a couple of more questions. Manav Manglani is a fashion photographer. He's a content creator. He's joining us on the broadcast. Manav, hi, good to have you on the show. Dilip Cherian is founder Perfect Relations. Karan Ambardar is a sports analyst. And Vedam Jaishankar will be joining us in just a bit. He's a sports journalist as well. Manav, I was trying to ask Rohit whether it's the paparazzi that is a bigger problem for stars and doesn't understand where the line is, and that line doesn't need to be crossed, that Lakshman Lekha doesn't need to be crossed, or is it the fans? To my mind, or what I've seen in the recent past, Manav, it seems to me that fans have become a bigger problem for stars rather than the paparazzi, because I see all of you interacting with, with stars coming out of gyms or, getting into airports. It's a friendly relationship. It's almost like they've known each other for years. The stars will, do what they need to do, but turn around, smile for the paps, leave. It seems they have managed to strike a balance between, getting their pictures and not crossing the line. But when it comes to fans, there seems to be a problem. Is that your sense as well, Manav? Oops, you'll have to unmute yourself. Manav, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hi. I didn't get you. Can you come back with the question?
Yeah, sure, Manav. Manav, I was trying to ask you, since you photograph a lot of stars who are out and about. I want to first understand from you what you make of this Virat video and whether you think multiple lines have been crossed when this video was shot and then put out.
Yeah. All the lines were crossed when this was shot and put out. I strongly condemn it. This should never have happened. This is getting into the private space, and this should never have happened.
But there's an argument that is made that paparazzis, I'm not defending what happened. I think what happened was absolutely crazy and it shouldn't have happened. But, that's the argument that can be made for the paparazzi as well. To say that, the paparazzi is also there filming and taking pictures of the stars during their private moments. So, it's not just fans. Maybe the paparazzi crosses lines as well.
No. When it comes to our work, we definitely have a line which we don't cross. So we don't get into the house and click. We just click them when they are on the road, in a public space or somewhere. That kind of event where we are invited, or at the airport, or getting out of the gym, that kind of thing. We don't get into the house without permission and click them. So there's a line which we don't cross.
Virat and Anushka. Okay, Virat and Anushka have been very private about the sort of moments that are put out on social media. Can you help me understand where they are coming from? Because the paparazzi has been fairly respectful. They wanted their daughter not to be filmed or photographed. They sent lovely hampers to all the paparazzi as well, I remember. And it seems that code of honor has been maintained. Can you help me understand why they have been so private about their private lives?
Since the baby was born, I think that's one thing that they wanted to keep it private and not photograph, not let the baby come in the media glare. So they had requested us, "Ke mat karna," and we completely respect what they want. And as a media, as a paparazzi, we all decided that we won't click them. But all those videos getting out are shot by fans inside the airport. You can't stop fans. Sabke paas mobile hai. अब वो तो रिकॉर्ड करके डाल देते हैं, वो वायरल हो जाता है. Hello?
Rohit, you're back on the line with us. A quick question before I let you go. I want to ask you where this video is coming from. Is it coming from a place where you're seeing your star all the time on social media, in newspapers, on television? There is a certain familiarity. अरे इसको तो मैं जानता हूँ. I see this person every day. I know what they're doing every day. Is what happened with Virat in his hotel room coming from a space of familiarity? That where is the boundary between me and my, me and my idol? I see him every day.
Not at all, not at all. It's not from a place of familiarity at all. It is probably coming from a place of this gentleman, whoever it is. I don't know much about him, but this is not normal. Anybody will tell you, and a very respected member of the press is on your panel, who I've known for years, and I just said it before he joined, that the press never does this. They will never get into the private space of any celebrity unless the celebrity has invited them. So this gentleman, whoever is yours, he's crossed all sorts of lines, and it is not familiarity breeds content. Virat, and especially the cricketers, are extremely... I'll tell you a story. I was in Dubai, and I was having lunch at a place, and I walked out and I saw Virat was standing there. Nobody came up to bother him at that point. So people are very respectful of everybody's privacy. But this gentleman who photographed his room obviously doesn't know the meaning of privacy. He thought he's showing personal effects of a star who people will be very happy to see. And he completely forgot that this is somebody's inner sanctum. So no, I don't think it's about familiarity at all. It was absolutely wrong, and there is no excuse for this kind of behavior.
No, there's absolutely no excuse for this kind of behavior. But Karan, when it comes to sports stars, I mean, what do you make of this video? I can understand Virat's complete outrage and frustration over what has happened. But, does it come with the territory? Do sports people, sports stars, especially players of the Indian cricket team, feel that, chalo yaar, this comes with the territory? I know Virat has drawn the line, he's drawn the line a lot of times in the past as well. But for most of them, does it come with the territory is essentially the question I'm trying to ask.
A couple of things I'm going to address out here. One of the things that you said in terms of familiarity, like hum inko daily social media pe dekhte hain. In fact, it's very ironic that Virat a couple of years back in an interview actually said that my nickname has become, so common. People address me as with my nickname, not by my real name, as if they know me for years. Chacha ka beta hai. That's what he said. Mere ko aise bulaya jata hai sarak pe. Having said that, on a lighter note, I think the only silver lining out of this is since Virat is a fitness freak, everybody, you also mentioned his multivitamins and his fitness routine was kept on the table. I think that's one thing that everybody is going to be very particular when it comes to what Virat is doing, how is he maintaining fitness. But coming back to the main point, if there is a line, yes, there is a line. Unfortunately, all these be it cricketers, film stars, or people who are popular, who are in the eye of the public, they do not have a private life. And that comes with, that's something that tags along with them as and when they keep growing as a brand in the market. The more popular you are, the less of a private space that you have in your life. But entering a room, recording, I think it's stupid, absolutely stupid. I mean, it's dangerous as well. If that gentleman, I won't call him actually a gentleman, that employee of that hotel who's been fired, if he had the audacity to misuse his position, his place of employment to enter and get to know what Virat Kohli is doing, or thought he would become a social media sensation. That's what most of the youngsters unfortunately believe in these days. Getting one click that could go viral from their account and they could have that social media moment that they're looking for. I think that was very stupid. Somebody needs to draw a line here. This has happened quite a few times. I mean, there was a theft that happened a couple of months back in one of the Indian women's cricket team's hotel in London. That's very sad. I mean, it's happening quite often. It's happened with a couple of other players as well. So yes, there needs to be a line that needs to be drawn. We need to understand and realize that end of the day, they are human beings as well. Yes, they are celebrities, but we need to respect their privacy. When they step out, let's give them space. They are already catering to the masses that are there who look up to them. They step out with their family when they're doing something. Let them let us give them their space. Let them feel comfortable. Let them enjoy the fans around them as well. Let's as we enjoy them, let them also enjoy the fanfare
Sure.
around them. And let's not
Sure.
destroy that little sanctity
Do we,
that's left here.
do we sometimes, Dilip Cherian, do we sometimes forget that stars are also humans who need some private time to themselves? And is what happened in Australia a sign of the times, the curse of social media, as I call it? Everyone wants to be a social media star and everyone wants to be viral.
Shreya, there are three kinds of issues here. The first is, of course, paparazzi and commerce. And who buys that stuff is actually, media vehicles as well as the platforms that encourage people to behave in this irresponsible and what I call leaky manner. The second is respect for privacy and what is considered private space and what is not. And the third is actually invasion of privacy for reasons which are valid. And we've not discussed that at all. But when there is a flouting of regulations or rules and somebody decides to record that, that does not fall into this category. So we need to understand all these three. This is absolutely unforgivable because you have entered the room on your duty. It is not your job to do what you've done. And I think sacking was the only answer. So the problem is that a lot of social media pressure today is to produce the, exclusive or show that you have access. And I think an excess of that is what is creating these kinds of invasions, which are, as several people have mentioned, dangerous and need to be brought to heel very quickly, because there is no limit to this. You never know what happens next and what gets recorded with secret cameras, hidden cameras. The levels of illegality of this are multifold. So I think that, Shreya, I would say that once you understand what the three kinds of boundaries are, then you need to make sure that that's transmitted widely enough. The channels who carry them, the platforms who carry them have a duty. The people who employ those whose job it is to bring such content have a duty. And then there is the duty of those whose job is something else.
Everyone's pointed out to the fact that what happened is actually dangerous. Yes, we understand this is a hotel employee. He probably has security clearance. But just imagine for a minute if someone had walked into your room and filmed your room and your clothes lying around and your supplements lying around. It would feel like someone has violated you. That's how it would feel. Were you surprised that Virat Kohli decided to speak out? Because he's someone who speaks out on various issues. I mean, he takes his job as a role model fairly seriously. I remember he spoke about his mental health condition at one point of time, etc. as well.
Yeah, let me start straight with a disclaimer. I don't approve of what happened. But who is a fan? A fan is fanatical. And there is so much of voyeurism going on. A fan believes he owns the brand. Whether you like it or not, you can't think logically with a fan because he is so fanatical. And today what has happened is, look at when you have IPL tournaments. During the IPL, all the teams have got people who are in the social media and they keep having a lot of from behind the scenes. They take photographs, they take discussions when they have breakfast, lunch, tea or whatever. And they think it's a big way to expand the brand. I don't deny that's part of the social milieu today. But when you're wanting to expand the brand, where do you draw a line? You might say that many of these celebrities invite cameras to their house, they show off their house. At the same time, you'll also say, yes, they decide and their response what they're going to show. It's like getting into a room, getting into a bathroom, getting into various spaces without permission. It's a no-go. Yes, of course, it's a no-go. But goldfish have no hiding place. This is the fact of life. You and I may talk a lot of logic. You and I may talk a lot of what is common sense, what is done, what is not done. But unless there is a law which prohibits and stops and punishes, this is not going to end. In less than a few days' time, you're going to start the World Cup football. And you know how the wags are followed all over the world. and it's not going to end. It's not just the cricketers or the players who are going to be subjected to this kind of intrusion, but also their family members, their friends, and a whole lot of others would also suffer with this kind of intrusion. Somewhere you have to draw the line, but the tools are all there. It's available. Like I think it was Dilip Cherian who said, you have hidden cameras. You've got, you can invade into so many people's privacies. But unless there is a law, unless there is a deterrent, it's not going to end. And believe me, this is going to become more and more and more, because it's not just the social media that is putting a stop, encouraging this, but the entire society with its idea of voyeurism and a whole lot of other things is not going to really discourage this kind of behavior. And we will see more and more of it. And unfortunately, the guys who are in the eye of the storm, the celebrities, they have to take the good with the bad. And how well they expose themselves, or how rigid they are about their control is required. The Australian hotel would be at fault. I don't deny that. They have done a poor scanning of their staff. But will it end with this? I doubt very much.
Karan, then come in here. Vedam makes a good point that I was trying to make earlier as well, that fans are supposed to be fanatic, and this guy clearly was. He has crossed a line, yes, he has, but it's fans that expand the brand of a star as well.
Oh yes, I think that's a very interesting line actually. The good with the bad, as he said. It is actually this could actually be a measure of his brand value as Virat Kohli, how popular he is. That's the unfortunate part. I mean, the fact that he was recording all of it, he knows that there are people who will look at it because Virat Kohli is that big. But, nothing can justify this action. I mean, no matter what, how big a brand you are as an individual, this is not justified. You will not appreciate a few extra clicks on your hashtag with what is happening actually on your screen right now. I mean, there's no way actually you can justify this. This is stupid behavior. This is extremely dumb behavior. This is dangerous behavior. If this guy can pop in his absence, fanatic is the word that is used. What stops him from doing this when Virat Kohli is probably there in his room? That's probably the next step. So you can't justify this. I mean, yes, it's a measure of your popularity, but that's not a justification. It's a complete no-no what is happening.
Manav, I want to come to you for my final comment, and then I'll go to Dilip Cherian. Help me understand, when it comes to stars, there are all kinds of stars, right? There are film stars who, it seems, by the look of it, know how to, again, the guy who filmed Virat Kohli was not paparazzi. He was a hotel employee. He crossed the line, etc., etc. But this is a separate question altogether, Manav. Do film stars, in that sense, manage/navigate the paparazzi much better, say, than sports stars? कि film star को पता है क्या करना है, कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, कैसे post करना है. Most of the times they will, I think, send you an invite, to come and say, okay, I'm going XYZ at, this point of time. Why don't you come in, etc. What has been your experience?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I couldn't listen to you properly. Actually, there's some network issue.
Okay, very quickly, I'll repeat my question to you. I want to ask you, if film stars are better equipped to negotiate the paparazzi and this sort of fan invasion than, say, sports stars, what has been your experience? Since you, film and photograph almost everyone.
Film folks are actually better equipped in such paparazzi instances and all, because they are close to us. They, deal with us on a daily basis. Cricketers don't do that. Cricketers have their own life. They have their own private life. We deal daily with film actors inside out, and they know what we want and we know what they want. So we also respect their privacy.
You also respect their privacy, and that's something I think that bears out in the sort of interaction that film stars at least have with the paparazzi. Dilip Cherian, any final comment? You have said this is not going to end anytime soon. The person, who was at fault in this case has of course been sacked. But I just, want to put out a word of appreciation, I think, for Virat Kohli here for speaking about the issue. I mean, he could have dismissed it and said, chodo, we are in the middle of a big series, chodo is sabko. But he didn't. He did speak out, and he knew this would become a conversation point.
I think I agree that it is very brave of Virat to do it. But I want to go a little further on the line that Manav was taking. If you know and have permission to do that, it isn't interesting anymore. Correct. It's merely publicity. It's only when you violate some unwritten code that it becomes exclusive. Is that legal? No. Is that to be approved? No. But does it titillate an interest, and does it raise, shall I say, action for the brand? Unfortunately, yes. Not always positively, but I'm glad that a few people like Virat are speaking out and saying, thus far, no more, now stop this. And that's what needs to be done.
And I'm glad all of us managed to have this conversation. Thank you very much, Manav, for joining us. Dilip Cherian, always good to have you on the show. Karan and Vedam, good to have you on the show as well. Thanks very much for watching. On that note, for joining us, I beg your pardon, the show still continues. Coming up next, we have Neeraj Chopra, who's reflecting on his recent wins, and he's revealing his struggles with mental health. That interview on the other side. Do stay with us.